Happy Halloween, Low Gang, and boy, am I glad not to be a trick-or-treater anymore. It is fucking freezing. It took forever for it to get cold where I live, Illinois. But now that it's cold, it is so ungodly cold. I finally had to take the AC out of the window today. And yeah, I'm glad I don't have to be out there asking for candy, and instead my mom just gives me some Reese's and says, Ayo, happy Halloween. Now I'm like, Ayo, thanks for the Reese's. I don't have to go outside for it anymore. But that's beside the point, because today we're ranting about Charles Manson, and by Charles Manson, I mean Marilyn Manson, because today's rant comes from Funky Boy Haas, who says, figured there'd be no better time to ask for this than this month. For the next album review, I want you to listen to Mechanical Animals and the Golden Age of Grotesque by Marilyn Manson, and also his cover of This Is Halloween from The Nightmare Before Christmas, because 'tis the season. I initially considered Smells Like Children because of all the fucking wild-ass song names on that album, but went with Mechanical Animals instead because it has a much stronger lineup of songs. Also, watch the music videos if the song has one. Marilyn makes some real cool music videos. On the topic of wild-ass song names, I only listened to the English, the English lineup of songs on the albums, but one of the, Golden Age of Grotesque, it released in America, I'm pretty sure, with 15 songs, but some of the overseas ones have some extras, and one of the extra songs was called Baboon Rape Party. I am not joking. That is a song title. I'm pretty sure I remembered that correctly. I didn't actually listen to the song, but holy shit, that is a song title and a half. I guess because 'tis the season, I'm gonna start off with my take of his cover of This Is Halloween by The Nightmare Before Christmas? What the fuck am I saying? It's by Marilyn Manson. Of a song in The Nightmare Before Christmas. Fuck me. It's like fine, kind of mid. It's about what you'd expect, right? It's The Nightmare Before Christmas, but sang by Marilyn Manson, and so it has his sound. He does try to do little voices for the characters, which is kind of cute and quirky, but at the end of the day, granted, this is also my first time listening to the original, shockingly enough. I haven't actually seen The Nightmare Before Christmas, but I listened to the original right after listening to the Marilyn Manson cover. And I just got the sense, wow, I'm listening to the correct version of the song. You know, the actual song filled me with whimsy watching it with all the animation. Like, goddamn, this Nightmare Before Christmas thing, I've heard its peak, and this looks pretty peak. It's filling me with this sort of childlike wonderment. Whereas with the Marilyn Manson one, it's a Marilyn Manson song, so it's not gonna do that. You know, it feels like it's one of those songs where the cover just sort of takes out everything about the original that makes it so good. You know, actually seeing The Nightmare Before Christmas, the animation, and listening to the song, I was like, god damn, this is some kinography. But the Marilyn Manson one didn't really evoke those same feelings. It was just, oh, hey, another Marilyn Manson song. That's cool, I guess. But let's get on to the actual albums, because that is going to be the bulk of what I'm talking about, because it's some 29 songs, I'm pretty sure, that I listened to in a single day, which I kind of regret doing. I was trying to make a concerted effort to not wait until the last minute to listen to all the songs, as I usually do, because I was thinking to myself, well, I want to go into these rants having heard all the songs more than once, right? Because when I normally do the rants, having listened to all these songs in a row, it means that not a whole lot of them are very strong in the old crunch brain. My memory of them isn't so great, even though I just listened to them, but it's like through repeatedly listening to a song, you strengthen your memory and impression of it. And oftentimes, repeat listens can, make you privy to details you didn't notice at first, and give you a greater understanding of why you like the song. And if you didn't like it the first time, maybe it'll grow on you the next. And maybe if you thought it was kinda catchy the first time, you'll listen to it again and be like, oh, well, my initial impression wasn't actually correct. It's kind of a whiff now. But I didn't do that. I was kind of late on the uptake. I could have listened to it way sooner, but I kind of just put it off, and then it was Halloween, and I was like, oh shit, guess we're doing a Halloween special. Halloween, Marilyn Manson, listen. So I am of the opinion, I'm going to start off with my takes right off the bat, just sort of grease you up for the discussion to come. Mechanical Animals is fucking great, so much so that the Golden Age of Grotesque is extremely mid by comparison. And I'll explain what I mean by that. So Mechanical Animals came out in 1998. It is the, I think, third studio album by Marilyn Manson. Don't quote me on that, but I'm fairly sure I'm correct, and I'm fairly sure that the... God, I had to fucking sneeze. I'll probably cut that out. Or maybe I'll leave it in to be funny. But I'm pretty sure the Golden Age of Grotesque is the fifth studio album by Marilyn Manson. And Mechanical Animals is... Well, they're both sort of rock, metal-ish albums. But the difference between the two is that... I always forget the title of the Golden Age of Grotesque, even though I have it right here, because it's just not a very memorable title to me. But the Golden Age of Grotesque makes a very conscious effort to move away from that style of music, as I read on the Wikipedia page. And Wikipedia is always right. They're actually mostly right, so I don't even know why I'm saying that sarcastically. It's actually a pretty sincere statement. They tend to be correct. And... that decision resulted in something that was... Well, okay, Marilyn Manson thought nu metal was oversaturated, or whatever, and didn't want to be a part of that. And you can even see in the song This Is the New Shit. This Is the New Shit is a very, very express way of saying, hey, all that stuff I did before, I kind of want to move on from it. I feel like I already did all of it. And you can see that in the lyrics. Let me read them out. Babble, babble, bitch, bitch, rebel, rebel, party, party, sex, 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 and don't forget the violence. Blah, 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 got your lovey-dovey, sad and lonely, stick your stupid slogan in, everybody sing along. It's basically saying the lyrics have gotten repetitive. And the chorus, are you motherfuckers ready for the new shit? Stand up and admit tomorrow's never coming. This is the new shit. Stand up and admit. Do we get it? No. Do we want it? Yeah. It's basically saying, we're gonna do some new shit, guys. You're not gonna really get it. It's, kind of experimental and weird. I'm doing my own thing. But hey, you better ready your cheeks, because this shit's gonna be hype. So he says. But I thought it was not as good. So, Mechanical Animals. God, we're finally talking about the actual fucking album after all that prelude. It's really good. The main thing that I would say is the driving force behind all these songs is that they're so fucking catchy and energetic, right? And, one of the songs that I think is most exemplary of this is Rock is Dead, which I have one note on. This one is super fucking energetic and explosive and cool. Me like another playlist 4 streak. That is my note, which is basically saying I was 4 songs into the album, and all 4 had been ones I instantly added, to my YouTube playlist. Because they're fucking good. And Rock is Dead easily one of my favorites. It's up there with Great Big White World as my favorite of the album. It's one of the two, and I think I'll have that more illuminated as time goes on. But it's just so energetic. You hear even at the very beginning the guitars come in, and you're like, God fucking damn, I'm in for a treat. And there are so many great, this is the thing, there's so many great like guitar riffs and moments and where he's just wailing on the electric guitar. And you're like, ooh, that's so nice. The instruments really do feel full and powerful and punchy, and you're just there for it, right? You're ready to start fucking headbanging and moving along. Something that Marilyn Manson does frequently in his songs, and this is even more ubiquitous in the next album, but it's still very ubiquitous at this point, which is his vocal fry. He really likes to do this. I'm not really a big fan of it sometimes. So, it tends to work best when he's singing in a normal voice over another sample of him singing the lyric in a growly voice. That gives it sort of a distinct texture, but you've got the main part of him saying it normally over the growly voice, which makes it, it's like the vocal fry is there to accentuate it. It's part of the instrumentation, it's there in the background, not necessarily the main thing. I'm someone who kind of fucking can't stand the sound of vocal fry in real life. When people talk like this, oh my god, it's so fucking obnoxious. How do you even do it? Why? It apparently sounds more mature, which is why some people do it intentionally, but it's obnoxious to me. Now, I don't know if Marilyn Manson, I mean, he's obviously doing it intentionally in the songs, but I noticed when he's just speaking to people in interviews, he speaks with a little bit of vocal fry there too. It might just be how he talks, and that might be why it ends up in his songs sometime. I'd be remiss to say that I know whether or not it's intentional when he's doing it in interviews. I doubt it is. It's probably just something he fucking... It's probably just how he speaks, right? But nonetheless, I'm not necessarily a fan of the intentional use of it in songs sometimes. And another thing I will say is that sometimes the filters he puts on his voices aren't really good. So let me try and find the song that that annoyed me. So here. Yeah, okay, so it's Speed of Pain. Speed of Pain was a song that I almost put on my playlist because the outro has hot, steamy sex. The outro is very long, very extended, very cool, very nice sounding, right? You just want to vibe to it. However, the chorus, and I'm gonna read my note. The chorus, I want to outspeed the pain, feels too, I don't know, futuristic, but if the future was really lame and obnoxious, referring to the voice filter. And yeah, it doesn't sound too good, That was the main thing holding me back from, putting it on my playlist. Although at least it's not like that one Tally Hall song. I forget what the title is, but there's one song where they put on a very similar voice filter. But instead of the chorus, it was got damn near the whole fucking song. And I was like, it's so catchy, but I can't listen to it because of the fucking voice filter. It's so bad. But that's Tally Hall, not Marilyn Manson. We're here to talk about Marilyn Manson, and almost every single song on the album immediately went onto my playlist because they're just so catchy. Obviously, not every song is as catchy as the last. Some of them are like, ooh, immediate headbang, holy shit. Some of them are less so. The Dope Show, when I listened to it for the first time, well, I've only listened to it one time, but, I was listening to it, and at first, for like the first 2/3 of the song, I was like, I'm not sure if I want to put this on my playlist, but as it went on, it was sort of growing on me. It's got a bit of a weirder sound. And speaking of The Dope Show, it's one of the songs with a music video, so why not talk about the music videos? Most specifically, The Dope Show has a bit of music video that I absolutely must talk about. So, in the music video, there's a song, not a song. The video's for a song. What the fuck am I saying? Man, I don't even know what to say. But, anyway, backing away from my flubs, Marilyn Manson takes a mannequin and swings it into a bunch of identical-looking mannequins. Which, by the way, Marilyn Manson, fucking weirdo. He's got these weird outfits on. In this music video, he's mostly how do I say this? It's like he's naked, but as a woman, and all the private parts, let's say, are removed, and he has his hair long and dyed red, and that's also the cover of the album. And yeah, I definitely see the appeal of his aesthetic, because it's fucking weird rock shit, right? Weird 90s rock shit. Not necessarily my aesthetic per se. I'm more into the aesthetic of, like, Willwood and Lemon Demon, but, that's more contemporary and indie and internet culture-y. So, of course, Marilyn Manson wouldn't really fit into that per se. But I do see the appeal of the aesthetic. And the music videos are fucking weird too, right? Got another music video. I think it is for the song I Don't Like the Drugs, but the Drugs Like Me. And it's got, it's depicting all these people with masks on, and the masks have really big eyes, so they look like sort of alien-esque humans, and the world is just populated by these things. And meanwhile, Marilyn Manson is on a cross made of rubble, and eventually phases into the cross, but this time it's a bunch of TVs. Well, it's fucking surrealist shit, right? But the reason why I wanted to talk about the mannequins is because I popped off so hard. Because I think I am the only human being on Earth who could possibly notice this. So, Maria Holic. In the Maria Holic opening, directed, I'm pretty sure, by Tatsuya Oishi, don't quote me on that, but I'm fairly sure. Or rather storyboarded for the OP. Maybe the OP was directed by him, I don't know. But anyway, the main boys, cross-dressing boy, girl of the show is surrounded by a bunch of mannequins who all look identical, of nude women with their private parts removed, just like the music video. In the anime, they're made of CG. And then the main character, cross-dressing boy, grabs one of the mannequins, starts swinging it around. In the Maria Holic OP, he starts painting the floor with the mannequin's hair, which didn't happen in the music video, but nonetheless, he's swinging it around and breaking shit with it. And I was like, is this Peak imitating Peak? Who knows? Maybe it's just a common bit of visual iconography that I'm not aware of, that many different, pieces of media have used. But it is remarkably similar in conception. And if that is a direct reference on Maria Holic's end, that is fucking cool. I hope that is the case. Because that's just so specific. Who would have expected Maria Holic, Marilyn Manson crossover? I also was able to get treated to some Marilyn Manson interview clips. in between listening to songs from the albums. And he seems like a pleasure to talk to. He is extremely witty and extremely well spoken on the spot. So this is during the sort of late 90s, early 2000s crusade against non-Christian, non-nuclear family, non-traditional media, right? This idea that as soon as you say "me like Satan" in a rock song, that means that Christianity will die across America because people's faith in religion is apparently so fragile that Marilyn Manson saying drugs in a song or wiping his ass with the Bible will cause everyone to just stop believing in God. That will definitely happen. But Marilyn Manson, he was also accused of being the catalyst for some school shootings. I think it was Columbine. Well, I think there were multiple, but the first of which was Columbine, I am fairly sure, with the evidence being, as far as I'm aware, that they listened to Marilyn Manson and then shot up a school. I would also like to mention that they breathed and shot up a school. They walked and shot up a school. I don't think that them doing a thing and then shooting up a school is necessarily evidence of them being influenced by it, is what I'm getting at. But he was asked, "Hey yo, if you could talk to the victim's family of this shooting, what would you say?" My motherfucking goat said, "Well, I wouldn't say anything. I'd listen. Because I think we should be doing that, and the media isn't." No words, just applause. That is the genuinely the best response he could have made. There was another fucking girl who was basically talking over him the entire debate, being like, "Holy shit, like, you should start following the Bible." And Marilyn Manson responds, "I like the Bible." "Well, then why don't you follow it?" "Well, I like it in the same way I do any book, like The Cat in the Hat." Like The Cat in the Hat, Jesus Christ. That made me laugh out loud. That was fucking great. Marilyn Manson, confirmed Cat in the Hat mega fan. I fucking love that. But yeah, I'm gonna look at some of my other notes. Oh yeah, okay, I'm glad I remembered this. Apparently, I haven't talked too much about the lyrics of the songs, and that's because I don't necessarily understand most of them. They're not necessarily all lyrics that I can understand what the songs are about on a first listen. But apparently, and I didn't really pick up on this, but it was according to some genius annotations, that the first half of the album is spoken as the character Alpha. And the Alpha, it's not fucking alpha male, scrimblow male shit. It's basically, Alpha is a drug addict and all sorts of fucked up by drugs. Omega, which is the singer of the second half, is basically an alien trying to navigate. I'm going off of what the genius annotations are saying. An alien trying to navigate the world of celebrities, narcotics, and televised evangelism. I didn't really pick up on that, but you know what? Sure, go for it. And there was a, oh god, apparently the point of switch is after Posthuman, where the song apparently has the lyric, "Ladies and gentlemen, Omega and the mechanical animals." However, I don't know if I just had the wrong recording on YouTube. My version of the song did not say that. I did not hear that happen. And so I was going through the lyrics like, what the fuck? No, this one didn't appear in the song. And I re-listened to it and I was like, yeah, no, it didn't. I didn't hear it. Maybe the YouTube, because it is the last lyric of the song. Maybe the video I was watching just cut it off right before he said that. I'm not sure why it would, but that's probably what happened, because it's hard to imagine people just made that lyric the fuck up, right? Let's see, looking at some new notes. I guess I'll talk about The Last Day on Earth because it was mostly with an acoustic guitar as opposed to the usual searing metal and, blaring instruments, right? But I'm not huge on it. I did not. It was probably my least favorite song of the entire album. If I had to choose a least favorite, this would be it. Because although it is unique and not unpleasant to listen to, the chorus isn't exceptionally catchy, but more than that, it just doesn't have the power you'd expect from a Marilyn Manson song. And it doesn't even have the power I'd expect it to have in the context of the song. Although it is done entirely with an acoustic guitar, at the same time, I still want it to have a little bit of oomph. And it doesn't lack it entirely, but I would have liked more, right? Which is where we finally get to... Oh, yeah, by the way, actually, one last thing. Coma White's chorus and Great Big White World's chorus, they sound fucking identical. Don't at me. I don't know why I said don't at me. But, seriously, they are very similar sounding choruses. Like, they're a little different, but... Fucking, I think I have the lyrics written down. A pill to make you numb. A pill to make you dumb. A pill to make you anybody else. I don't think I hit the notes right for the anybody else bit, but the reason why I sang that is because Great White World is fucking... I know I have... Yeah, there we go. My stitches itch. My prescription's low. It's the same fucking thing. Maybe the notes are a little different and I didn't pick up on it, but it was very, very similar. And I'm not even necessarily criticizing it for it, because it's a fucking banging chorus. It is the catchiest chorus of any of the songs. If you were gonna reuse a chorus, that was it. But they are extremely similar, and I did notice it. So, the golden age of grotesque. So as I said earlier, this is when Marilyn Manson was making a distinct choice to stray away from his more metal origins, and that resulted in a new sound, right? Theater is an instrumental, but then we have the second song where it's babble babble bitch rebel rebel party party, and I actually really like that part of the song specifically. But then we get to the chorus, and the chorus marks one of the trends of this album, which I feel is different from the prior, which is that the first part of the song, the bitch bitch rabble rabble part, does not go very hard. It is very quiet and subdued. Maybe that's putting a bit too, words with a bit too much gravity for what's really going on. It's not entirely subdued. It's still a rock song at the end of the day. But, it's much quieter than you would expect. Whereas the chorus is almost like more screamy feeling than the prior album. And it's not like a super screamy, heavy metal song, because the point was to get away from that. But it's, it feels... It's very difficult to describe, and that's something that sort of pervaded my mind while listening to this album, of what the hell is so different that I am so not connecting to. And it got to the point where I was re-listening to some songs from Mechanical Animals in order to figure out what was amiss, what's the missing link in it all. And it has to do with a change in sound. So, Mechanical Animals is the way I would describe the sound as opposed to the golden age of grotesque is full. Every instrument is at a very, loud volume, but everything feels at home. It is extremely well mixed, in my opinion. And so everything is all in its right place and is creating this full wall of sounds that hits you. And you're being hit by it, but you're like, oh my god, I'm in bliss, man. This is fucking keto. But with the golden age of grotesque, you'll have sounds that are maybe a little, a little less full, a little more growly. That's another thing I would say about this album. It's a lot more growly. Right? It's got more of that growl, often under the voices, which I previously excused in the last album, right? But in this one, because it's so much more ubiquitous, I would say that it does kind of get on my nerves just a little bit, where it's like, because it's not even necessarily that on its own, but it's that with the new sound, where it feels very distinct from the prior album, but in a change that I do not necessarily like, right? Feels a little softer, a little less full, a little growlier. But then you get to the choruses, and they feel almost like the chorus of a System of a Down song, but a little less screamy, so it doesn't have quite that same energy, and you don't want to... It's not as headbangy as a System of a Down song, but at the same time, it doesn't feel like the prior stuff, the, Mechanical Animals, right? And it's not as catchy either. This album is consistently less headbangable, consistently less earwormy, and it feels consistently less full. Where even the very, very, what you would argue are some hard beat drops, right? You get to the chorus, you're like, oh, this is very loud and stuff. At the same time, it doesn't capture that same feeling of every instrument in the mix having its home and then hitting you with absolute kinography that you instantly put on your playlist because it's so goddamn catchy. It's more like, oh, and then the chorus happened, and it was very loud, but also not fulfilling in the way that the prior stuff was. That's not to say that there's nothing catchy about this album. For example, Dull Dagga Buzz Buzz Ziggity Zag. It's a ridiculous song title, but it's a very fun song, right? What the fuck else is there? I know there's another song I liked. I think it was, Mob Scene. I liked that one, and then after that, I don't think there's any songs that I put on my playlist, because this album also got less and less good as it went on, frankly. And another issue with it, I actually think this issue got better as the album went on, but especially at the beginning, it can be, the lyrics can get a little repetitive. And this is something that other people have said about the album, as I was reading on Wikipedia, but, the lyrics feel a little less poignant, a little more inane. Granted, this is from someone who hasn't really deep dived on any of the lyrics, but more than anything, they just repeat too goddamn many times, where I would pay attention to the lyrics of the song for a specified amount of time, and then I'd scroll down on the Genius annotations and say, oh, well, all the lyrics from here on out are just repeated from earlier, and there's like a minute and a half of the song left. I'm just going to go not pay attention to the lyrics, and instead, I don't know, look at the Wikipedia page for Marilyn Manson to read up on him, just because I was, frankly, a little interested in, his history and who he is and yada yada. So I was doing a little bit of light reading on him, right? Because he does seem like a really cool guy. Another lyric from the song Saint. This one's funny because of the Genius annotation, right? So the chorus in the refrain, not the chorus, the lyric in the refrain is, I've got an F and a C and I got a K too, and the only thing that's missing is a bitch like you. And the Genius annotation says, we here at Genius don't believe this requires any additional explanation. That is fucking great. But yeah, it's very hard to get over the sound. And there's another moment that I really want to capture. And that is Paranoir. Paranoir is I don't want to say it's hot garbage, but it's bad. I don't like it. And the reason why is because they get this fucking girl on, right? She's just speaking these lyrics, right? It's a spoken bit. I'd fuck you so I could feel something instead of nothing at all. I'd fuck you because you're beautiful. It's all these reasons, these like shallow reasons to fuck someone, right? Uh but it just goes on and on. I'd fuck you because I'm a whore. I'd do it for fun. And it's just like, oh god, it's kind of obnoxious. I hate the way she says it. And even the idea of this woman saying, oh, I'll fuck you for all these reasons. I don't know, it just didn't feel very poignant in maybe the way Marilyn Manson was expecting it to feel, but more than anything, I just want her to shut the fuck up. Although I will give this song bonus points because it does have the N-word hard R, so it is the most based one on the album. Yeah, the song fucking sucks. But no, otherwise, it's mostly not awful. It's just a little boring when you consider where we came from. And I am very glad, very, very glad that that Mechanical Animals was my introduction to Marilyn Manson, as opposed to I literally forgot the album, The Golden Age of Grotesque. I literally cannot remember that album title for the life of me. This is officially the longest rant on my channel, by the way. It has been going for 36 minutes. That is genuinely the longest I have talked about anything on here. Be proud. But with that, all that said, what would I give the albums for a score? Probably a strong 8 for Mechanical Animals, and for the Golden Age of Grotesque, either strong 4 to light 5. It's not exceptionally good, although my perception is probably a little tainted from the fact that I listened to Mechanical Animals first, and therefore had a frame of reference, and could see everything that it could have been, but wasn't. And so, with all that said, hope you enjoyed this rant. It has now been 37 minutes, goddamn. And yeah, see you next time.